Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be flying into an airport, Barnes Airport, from lovely Hartford Brainerd here, do a little bit of pattern work and then of course settle down onto the runway itself. We're going to be doing all this with the help of VATSIM, so you can get kind of a little bit of experience for kind of seeing what it's like to try to fly to a tower that has no ground controller. Again, trying to show you all the different permutations and types. So let's get started. So we have this one all set up, warmed up. Everything's running smoothly here. I'm just going to come over here and correct this. We want to go ahead and have that all ready to go. So let's take a look at the situation and kind of understand sort of what's going on today. Here we are. So we're in lovely, lovely New England here. You can see there's quite a bit of activity going down south. This could be a lot of fun to play with, but that's for another video. And so what we're going to do is that we're going to take off from Hartford here and fly up to Barnes. Like I said, we're going to do a little bit of pattern work. And then, of course, we're going to land there and go hit up the restaurant and see if they know what I'm talking about when I ask them. It could be kind of a fun little experiment. So as always, we want to get everything all squared away as far as flight plans and stuff like that go first. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go press my flight plan button. It's going to open that up in a new window. Again, we've got our V-Pilot ready to go here. Come down here, existing flight plan. Would you like to edit it? No, I'll do my own. All right, we are Red 64. We are VFR. Our type is going to be a Piper 28B today. We are Dakota. We are light. Let's see here. Type equipment. We're SG. Keep it nice and easy. I always do S here. Departure is going to be Hartford Brainerd. Off block. Let's see here. The current time is 17:22. It'll probably be 17:25 for us. Let me just confirm everything looks okay. Yep, looks good. Altitude. We're going to keep it pretty low here. We're going west. We can do up to 4,500. 4,500 is going to be pretty high for us. Yeah, we'll do 45. Why not? Airspeed. This one moves pretty quick. We'll probably say 160 today. Arrival will be Bath. I'm going to go ahead and type that in there just like that. Alternate time en route. That's going to take us about 12 minutes, I think, to do. And it's about 4:30. Again, I can get a more accurate number, but this will be plenty. Route details. I'm going to go ahead and say it's a direct flight. I'm going to ignore all this good stuff except for down here. I'll say YouTube record. We'll request pattern and then land. That way we have a little bit of experience, kind of experiencing some kind of different sort of situations once we get there. All right, let's go quickly check everything over. It looks good. Piper 28 Bravo. Looks good, looks good. Looks good, looks good, looks good, looks good, looks good. File flight plan. All right, we are good to go there. We can go ahead and pull that out of the way. It no longer needs to be done. Let's grab our V-Pilot application again. We're going to go ahead and connect. It's going to say, what do you want to do? You can see Piper 28 Bravo is already there. I'm going to press the connect button. Now, this is going to be an interesting adventure because we're going to have to start in uncontrolled, and then we're going to have to move our way into controlled airspace, which is going to make it a little bit more fun for us. Like I said, nothing bad. It just makes it a little more fun for us. There we go. So let's go ahead. What's going on with that? Let me go ahead and flight plan menu here. We want to go ahead and delete the flight plan because it's just going to mess things up for us. There we go. Enter, enter. There we go. And now if I go back, hey, look at that. It's working perfectly for us. Hey, the GPS is working today. Who knew, right? All right, so we need to go through all the motions as if we were here on our own. And I'm actually going to get a couple things quickly set up here while we're kind of getting cooked. Let's see, 4,500. Whoa, come on. One of these days I will get a new one. We're going to arm that. We don't really need to, but I'm going to arm it anyway because it makes it pretty simple for us. I'm going to give it just a blast of power here. Let's see here. Desired track today. A menu for some reason. Actually, I believe if you go back a page. Hey, there we go. Desired track is 4 degrees. Like I say, Bath is not far from us at all. 1, 2, 3, 4. And right there, it's going to be our desired track. So that's all set. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the weather here at a lovely Hartford Brainerd, 126.45. Come down here. This is why I love having co-pilots in the real world. They kind of do a lot of these things for you. All right, 126.45. And we got that set. We'll go ahead and flop that and take a listen. Oh, hang on. Before we do that,
Brainerd Airport Information Kilo 1700 Zulu. Wind tree 1 tree at 8.
runway 20.
10. Sky condition. Few clouds at 5,000.
No problem for us.
Tree 6. 2.19.
This is wrong.
Visual runway 2 in use.
Why would they be using runway 2 if the wind is coming from the other direction? The wind is coming from over here, which means runway 20.
On initial contact, you have kilo.
So one of the things we're going to want to do here is we're going to make sure that we know. Yeah, I guess 313. Honestly, it's just a pure crosswind. Let's actually visualize this for a second here. Make sure we're not goofing up too bad here. No, runway 2 does win. It's a little bit better, but it really is just a pure crosswind. So what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and figure out what our particular frequency we're going to need to use here. So they use 119.6. Now, if you're wondering where I get that from, I can just come down here, zoom in real quick, and I can see it's also the common traffic frequency. 119.6 is going to be the magical frequency for us today. So I'm going to go to the top one. I'm going to go crank it to 119.6, just like that. So what I'm going to do now is make a regular call. Remember that I'm all squared away, using the common traffic frequency to give everybody a heads up saying, hey, just so you're aware, I'm doing XYZ. Now, let's be smart, though. Let's carefully set up our frequencies so that we don't have to fiddle with things once we get there. So 127.1 is going to be Barnes frequency. Let's get that all squared away. If you're wondering where I got that from, by the way, you can see it's sitting there ready for us, ready to go. All right, 127.1. Let's get that dialed in now. Makes it a little bit easier for us later on. Like I said, less work. Don't do 01. I've done that about 1,000 times. There we go. 1271. Perfect. Let's go flip that over. We don't need to listen to them just yet, and we'll go ahead and get their frequency in as well. Their tower frequency is 125075. Man, I haven't talked to them in a while. 075 right there. So 125075. Hartford's frequency is in there. Barnes' frequency is in there. Everything is ready to go. We're just going to go ahead and make our call. Hartford Brainerd traffic. Dakota Red 64 is taxiing to runway 2 via Alpha. Brainerd. Got it. All right, let's go. All right. Now, kind of the bummer here is one of the things that always happens is where's hotel and where's Alpha? Technically, this little piece of tarmac here that I'm on right this second is considered hotel. And then Alpha starts where? Like, does Alpha technically start at the split? Where does Alpha begin? I don't know. I've never been able to actually answer that question at this airport. It's just been kind of one of those goofy things that always sort of happens. So we're going to go ahead and taxi our way down there. We can see that windsock is looking very unfriendly to us. That just means it's going to be much more fun when we get up to Barnes. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do as far as what runways. I'll get you when we get to the end of the runway, though. All right, we're sitting here ready to go. Runway 2. The approach looks completely clear here. We'll go ahead and do our lights, camera action. Start with our flip, flight controls, flight instruments. Let's see, flaps is set. Lights are set correctly. We'll pop on our landing light there. Flaps, lights, instruments. Make sure that is all set. Propeller, that looks all set there. Let's see, propeller, systems. Confirm. Everything looks good to go. We are ready for takeoff. Let me just confirm we are in altitude mode, just to make sure everybody goes. Lights, camera, action. All right, let's go. Brainerd traffic, Dakota Red 64, taking off runway 2 north departure. Brainerd. That's it. We've made our call. We're just going to go pile onto the runway here, confirm that nobody's on the approach. Looks good to me. A little nervous about those clouds, but then again, it's going to be a visual flight anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. All right, line ourselves up. Man, this thing just wants to go ripping down the runway. All right, let's encourage it. Woo-wee! That is a crosswind. Golly, I am glad I'm not flying in the real world today. That is awful. There we go. Ooh. Wow. Can't wait to see what the runway they're going to be using at Barnes is going to be. I think it's going to be pretty awful. Woo. Okay, this is going to be, we call these adventures. And the turbulence is probably going to be awful as well. Those usually go hand in hand, especially during the summertime. All right, so at this point, we've gone ahead and taken off, and we're making our way up to Barnes. Let me go ahead and grab my handy-dandy little document here so you can see what's going on. We're going to appear here. Actually, if I hit a quick refresh here, let's give it a few moments to refresh. There we go. You can see there we are. We've just taken off, and we're sort of hiking our way up here. Now, we need to contact them when we're no more than 10 miles away. If I go up to Sky Vector real quick here and I just kind of drag up, you'll see they've got this little 5-mile ring. 10 miles is a little more polite. In the real world, Bradley's going to hand you off anyway because you're going to be talking to them for most of the first part of this flight anyway. But again, in the real world, it's only a 5-mile little circle here. Now, according to this, the wind is 300 at 70. So that's going to be kind of interesting for us. I'd be very curious to see what runway they're going to give us, but we'll find out when we get there, kind of a thing like that. All right, so let's go and give ourselves a couple blasts of trim. 100 knots is a good climb speed. We want to probably bring the power back a little bit here, though. Kind of racing around, and we're not in a rush. Go ahead and back it down to 2400. There we go, right there. It's going to be a little reduction in power again. Nothing too excessive or anything along those lines. There we go. Go ahead and correct this. Desired track. That's my current track. There we go. Let's see what's going on. Distance is 34. Looks good, looks good. I actually like to put this one on this display here. Track for me is 22, but that's perfectly fine. All right, let's enjoy our nice gentle flight. So we don't have a lot of time to get there. So one of the things we're going to want to do is we're going to start kind of getting everything squared away before we get into a situation where we're rushing to get it squared away. So I'm going to go ahead and pop on the automatic pilot real quickly there, just like that. We've already got the arm light on, so that's going to take care of things for us when we get a little bit higher. So that's all set. Let's go ahead and clean up our aircraft after takeoff here. That looks good to me. Feels good, feels good, feels good, feels good. And we can use a couple more RPM here. That looks good to me. Nice. So let's go ahead and listen to their ATIS and find out what we can find out.
Barnes Airport, ATIS information, Juliet 1653 Zulu, wind 3207, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 34, dew point 19, altimeter 2997, landing and departing runway 20, IFR inbound, expect ILS or visual approach, advise on initial contact, Gavin, information, Juliet.
All right, that's awesome. That tells us everything that we need to know in order to safely get in there. Let's review. So the wind is 320 at 7. Visibility is good. You can see it out the window right now. You can see it's clear. Very hot outside. It's summer. Pressure is about the same what it is, and we're using a runway 20 today. Runway 20, not optimum for us. It's not a bad thing. It's just not optimum. And you can see our aircraft is kind of wandering a little bit. That's okay, because I never actually activated nav mode, so that's fine. I'll flip it onto hill heading and then grab it in a second and go. So out for our little left wing right here, you can see Bradley International Airport. We'd be powering right through their airspace normally. Like I said, this is who you'd be talking to, 127.8. They do a really, really nice job for you as far as getting you squared away up to Barnes. You can see the haze. Woohoo! It is a humid day. I went for my walk this morning. And it was just, it was like walking through like thick fog. It was ridiculous how humid it was, but that's okay. So what I will do is I'll get us a little bit closer, and then we'll call them up. All right, we're about 15 miles or so to go. I'm looking at my window here, and you can see way off the distance, there's the airport. Airport is in sight. We're ready to go. We're actually also ready to begin our descent. Their traffic pattern altitude is 1,200 feet over there, so we'll go ahead and kind of get all those things all squared away for us. Down, 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 down. We'll do about 700 feet per minute. Back the throttle up a little bit. And now all we have to do is give them a quick little ring. I'll let them know where we're coming from. We have to let them know what our intentions is, and we also have to let them know that we have Juliet. So one of the things some people do is they do a courtesy call. We're not talking to approach today. We're talking to a tower, so they kind of own that airspace. So let's see here. We're about 14 to the south with Juliet, looking for touch and go. Barnes Tower, Red 64 is type Piper Dakota, about 14 miles to the south. With information, Juliet requesting touch and go, followed by a full stop. Nope. Before we do that, you want to make sure you're on the right frequency. Good practice, everyone. Good practice, everyone. All right, let's give them a ring on the correct frequency this time. Barnes Tower, Piper Dakota, Red 64 is about 14 miles to the south. With information, Juliet, looking for touch and go.
Red 64, Barnes, correction. Red 64, Westfield Tower, Roger, enter, or actually make straight in, actually make a left downwind entry to runway 20.
Making a left downwind entry to runway 20, Red 64. All right, so they've asked us for a left downwind entry. So that makes things actually kind of fun for us. Like I said, nothing too unusual. Again, depending on the situation. One of the challenges, of course, is if you look at the geometry of our situation here, 20 is going to be kind of hanging off the left here, actually. It might be even easier if I do one of these kinds of things so you can see it a little bit better. Here we go. So 20 here, as you can see, is we're going to be kind of coming in like this. Again, this is our runway 20. We're basically going to be hitting it here and then swinging around like that and coming back towards it. Now, the interesting thing here is this is completely out of whack, and it's very, very clear just how out of whack it is. In the real world, you'd pull this basically and crank it to the correct position. But you can see here, we're going to left downwind, we're going to do a left, 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 and then go ahead and do a nice little landing just like that. You can also see here that this makes it pretty easy to kind of visualize what's going on, which is one of the reasons why I like stuff like this, and it just makes your life just so much easier. In the real world, of course, we can look out the window and see it pretty clearly. It kills me just how far off this instrument is right now. As a matter of fact, you can come over here and look. We have a heading of 7. This one's all messed up. I love it. I wouldn't want it any other way, kind of a thing like that. Nope, I'll take control. I love it. I love it. What I need to do is go look up the key real fast to reset that, because that's going to make me slightly insane as we come in for our landing here. Even though I've had these things spin on me in flight before, it just happens. All right, we're settling into that runway 20. You can see it sitting there pretty much waiting for us. You can also see just how insanely nasty the crosswind is today. So let's go ahead and get ready for our landing now. Make sure all of our switches are in the right position. Just to check it, we'll go flip over to the other fuel tank. So that's going to be the one that contains more fuel for us. Checking our RPM, checking everything like that. The cool thing here is he's already given us the approach. He's basically told us enter into a left downwind for 20, which again, we're going to be sliding into that in just a few moments here in about 1,200 feet. Keeping the speeds kind of low. This is a pretty big runway, which makes it a little bit easier for us as far as getting set up and stuff like that. Of course, what we could have done is waited until we're 5 miles out, basically, to call them. But remember, you can't enter into their airspace until they've given you permission to do so. So you can see here, basically a textbook left entry here, making it nice and easy for us. There we go. It looks pretty good to me. We'll go ahead and swing this way. Go ahead and bring the power back. And there is our left downwind. A little high, but that's okay. And again, that crosswind is amazing. I cannot get over how strong that crosswind is. This is definitely not a day to fly, but one of the things you have to learn to do as a pilot is compensate for these things. So enjoy it, because you won't always get fun landings like this.
And Red 64, are you going to be joining the pattern or making a departure to a specific direction?
Red 64 is looking for one touch and go, and then we're going to do a full stop to hit the restaurant up.
All right, Red 64, on the go, you can make left close traffic, runway 20, cleared for the option.
Runway 20 cleared for the option, and we'll make left traffic, Red 64. Good to go. That's all that we needed to do. They've given us all the permissions that we need. We're setting ourselves up here. It's time to get them.
Tower guys, sector 714, left and back up IFR clearance to Boston, information Julia.
This is going to take him a minute.
Objective 714, Westfield Tower, clearance on request, standby.
Now, one of the things I'll mention real quickly is he cleared us for the option. He didn't clear me touch and go. Option simply means you could do one of 3 things. So we can either do a touch and go, perfectly fine. We can do a full stop, perfectly fine. Or we can do what they call a stop and go, which is where you come to a complete stop and then you go again. It's basically everybody's favorite technique to not have to do 1,000 night landings. One of the things I like about this approach, too, is if I kind of peek out this window, you can see just how much room we really have here. Like, if we were to lose the engine right now, there's all that grass we could come down on. So it's kind of a non-issue for us. All right, runway is made. Flaps are down. Gear's always down in this airplane, so it's pretty easy. Shifting into that crosswind. Oh, boy, it's got us. It's got us. And if you look now, you can see our speed is perfect. Oh, my goodness. Sorry, I'm complaining, everyone. Should get over how strong that wind is. There we go. Just a little bit of power there. Remember, this is a touch and go. Well, we've got the option, so. All right, let's do it. All right, we're on the move. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll get a setup for that end there. All right, we're set to go. We're in left midfield. Sometimes what I do whenever I'm doing pattern work is, like I said, to give them a quick little heads up here, kind of a declare your request there. All we have to do is ask for a landing, essentially. He's busy. He just read a very lengthy clearance, so he's got things on his mind, so to speak. But it's a good time to run through all your checks here. I'm getting a little high. That's okay, though.
Red 64, the wind 310 at 7, runway 3, correction, runway 20, cleared for the option.
Cleared for the option, runway 20, Red 64. That's it. He's given us permission. He is amazingly on top of his game in all the best sort of ways. I love that. Because then it's like, it's like, you just go. You just got to respond every once in a while. We could just keep ripping around over and over if we really wanted to. But that's okay. We end up with a 45-minute video, and I end up burning many, 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 many more of these virtual airplane bucks. All right, it's got to slow down a little bit. This thing, whatever reason, when they did the flight model for this, they have no concept of drag. It just does not slow down. Like, we have enough energy to make the runway from here. It's crazy. There we go. Okay, that crosswind looks good to me. And what I'm hoping what'll happen here is in a few moments. Wow, look at this. See how we just kind of stopped? That's what I call wind. But one of the cool things you'll get here is the WestJet, like I said a few moments ago, who's just making his call, is probably going to be requesting his taxi in just a few moments here. If I had to guess. And again, it completely depends on the day, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and trim here. A couple taps of the good stuff. Tippy tap on the trippity tap. Trim. Nice. And what we're trying to do here is that we're trying to land so that we don't have to cross the runway, but that ain't going to happen. More likely, we're probably going to have to cross right there, and that's actually not a bad thing for us because it's just going to be one runway to cross to get to Tobico there. All right, here we go. Short final. Let's do our checks. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, propeller, flaps, light, speed. We're good to go. I'm going to bring my speed down just a little less than last time because I really want to land before I get to that other runway because I really don't want to taxi all the way down if I don't have to. Sometimes they'll turn you around, which is really crazy. All right, one last check. All switches are where they need to be. Here we go. Now, the neat thing here is in the real world, you have F-15s, and they'll always be sitting there right there on your left. Easy. Easy. Yep, we got runways made. And they have to reevaluate the drag model on this thing. I'm not complaining, though. It was a free plane. There we go. Ooh, boy. That's what I call a pounce. We're going to sneak over here and get off the runway. One of these days, I'll be smart and reset all my controls for that. There we go.
Red 64, right when able.
Right when able, red 64. So some
Jet 714 ready for taxi.
Exit 714, roger, this whole position for now.
Roger.
Westfield Tower, red 64, requesting taxi to the restaurants. We should have specified where we are. We're currently on Charlie.
Sorry, red 64, I didn't hear that. Were you looking for a taxi to the FBO or a specific place?
Red 64 is looking for taxi to the terminal at this time.
64 roger, you can taxi to the terminal via Bravo Alpha cross runway 15.
Taxi to the terminal via Bravo Alpha cross 15, red 64. That's it. Let's hit it. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it a little bit of power and we'll start sneaking our way down. One of the things that works really well here is you can always zoom in again and take a quick little look, kind of this different stuff around you. This is going to be our Bravo here. Alpha is going to be right on our left. Good time to go ahead and clean up all our switches. I don't know what's up with the pitot hit switch. I can't get rid of it. All right, just make sure we're not cutting anybody off. We're not.
Good jet 714, runway 20, taxi via Alpha, Delta, runway 15, hold short of Bravo.
Alright, Alpha Delta 15, short Bravo. Spec Jet 714.
Wow, that's a really big jet for Westfield here. So in a moment, we're going to be crossing a 15. We can see that that's hanging out right there. And then our terminus is basically that building right there on the right. Now, I'm kind of wondering what the gate code is, but that's okay. So at this point, this is a good place. So we've been given permission to cross 15, so we shall. We just have to stay on Alpha when we do it, just like we are right now. And then we'll take that kind of first turn and jump right over the line into sort of the uncontrolled zone, so to speak. So as you can see, it's very, very simple. Simply just make sure you're talking to the right people. That was a mistake that I made. Make sure you get that ATIS code so that you know exactly what you need. Be familiar with the fact that you're going to have that common traffic advisory frequency. Those are just all the little things that you're always going to want to be watching out for whenever you do everything. Wow, look at the size of that plane. Oh, that guy's serious looking. And we'll come sneak over here. And we're outside of the requirements here. Like I said, I'm going to give this guy plenty of berth because he'll basically punt us if we're not careful. All right, sneak over here. Just get clear of this. And again, like I said, we've already crossed the line, so we're in uncontrolled territory. We'll go ahead and hit the brakes. Actually, what we'll do is we'll sneak over here. Of course, the problem is, this is one of the things I learned in the real world, is you're like, I did such a good job parking the plane, and then you realize you're going to have to go back out and flip the plane around. Perfect. All right, folks, hopefully you enjoyed this. Like I said, VATSIM's good stuff. Don't be afraid of it. They're there to help you. Just make sure you ask for what you need. Enjoy.